It's been about a year since I played Hydlide Special, and at the time I was thinking, surely Hydlide 3 can't be worse than this. I was so naive. I guess the first question is, what happened to Hydlide 2? Well, Hydlide 1 and 2 were computer games, and the Famicom Hydlide Special was a mixture of the two of them. And while this version of Hydlide 3 didn't leave Japan, there was a version released internationally. Super Hydlide on the Genesis is another port of this same game. The story is that in Fairyland, a pillar of fire appeared one night, and then there was a mysterious door, and if anyone entered it, they vanished forever. A brave warrior was selected to figure out what was going on and what's up with all these monsters. Naturally, that's you. At the outset, you can choose your class: warrior, thief, priest, or monk. Warriors and thieves can't learn all the magic, while thieves have a low morality score, which affects a few things in the game like shop prices. The monk has the lowest physical abilities, while all of the other starting stats are high. You begin in town with $2,000 to your name. So naturally the first thing you want to do is equip yourself, right? Well, wrong. While you can afford to get fully equipped, if you do so, you're dead. Or more specifically, the game is rendered unplayable. You see, the most important thing about your character in Hydlide 3 is their encumbrance. And that's a good contender for the stupidest thing in a Famicom RPG. I'm not joking about that. At level 1, your carrying capacity is barely enough to have a weapon, some food, and a potion. And I said a potion, not potions. If you do something silly like buy armor or a shield, you're now over-encumbered and can barely move. Oh, but there is something you can do. If you hit the B button to bring up your sub-menu, you can change the game speed. Not the text speed, the game speed. And you can make the game run about 3 times as fast. This is also a very bad idea. Hydlide 3 has a clock. And besides letting things turn from day to night, which by the way I never saw because I never survived long enough to get to night, the clock also determines your meal times. You have to eat every 6 hours, 7 a.m., 1 p.m., 7 p.m., 1 a.m. Food costs $250, which you might note is much more expensive than your starting weapon. So if you're running the clock fast, you have to eat more often. And if you're weighed down by armor, you're not going to be able to get over and buy food when you need it. So at level 1, what you really need to do is just buy a weapon and run around naked. A couple more things to be aware of on the clock. Stores close at 8 p.m., and if you're not in bed by 11 p.m., then you start taking damage. You also start taking damage if you miss a meal. So let's say you've managed to play a while and it's getting late, and your character needs to get some sleep. Well, the only place that you can sleep is at an inn. The inn at the starting town costs $1,000 a night. As a reminder, you start with $2,000, your starting equipment's probably about $100, and you get $30 for defeating an enemy. Yeah, this economy is broken. There's also a magic shop in town that will sell you spells. You don't get to pick which ones they sell you, they just sell you the next one in the list. The spell I got to try out was a confusion spell that made enemies spin in place for a moment. Okay, we're equipped. Now it's time to head out and start grinding up some levels by killing slimes. Because of course that's how it works. Hydlide is an action RPG, so you'll attack when you hit your A button. Pressing select rotates through the status screens. One will show your current abilities, the other will show your money and experience. Around the starting area there's 2 types of enemies, trees and slimes. Trees are good, so if you attack them, you lose morality. The ones with the darker shade on their trunk are aggressive and will fire darts at you. They'll do this the instant you enter the screen, and they can be positioned to shoot you as you leave town. And at level 1 it takes 2 hits from those to kill you. You'll make a screen transition and you're already damaged. Healing might be the only real improvement that Hydlide 3 has over Hydlide Special. In the previous game, you had to just stand there for several minutes as health slowly ticked up. Now there's the spell, you can sleep at an inn, you could eat food, and the best option, you can drink a potion. Potions only cost $50, so they're a pretty economical way to recover your health. For your initial grind, you're going to be killing those blue slimes. They're worth either 2 or 3 experience points depending on which class you are. You have to get 100 experience points to get your first level, and it's rare for there to be more than 2 slimes per screen. So grinding is a very long, slow process here. And when you do level up, what you gain is so marginal, you still can't equip armor. Of course, there's another issue. All of that money you're collecting from enemies also has weight. And it's tracked per coin. So you start out carrying 2 $1,000 coins, but the slimes are giving you 3 $10 coins every time you kill one of them. So you'll become encumbered just by grinding. There is an item you can find early on called a money exchanger. I never managed to collect that because an attacking tree spawned on top of the chest. Hydlide 3 uses battery saves, and there's only 1 save slot. You automatically save when you sleep at the inn. In terms of visual design, the game is also a total mess. You've been seeing it, of course. When I first started up the game, I honestly thought I was getting graphical glitches due to dirty contacts. If you take a sling as your starting weapon, like you'll need to with the priest or monk, you'll shoot this tiny pixel out. Do you see it? Do you see my attack? Yeah, sometimes it just gets eaten by the video compression thinking that it's noise. It really doesn't look that much better on an actual television. There's a question hanging over this video. Is Hydlide 3 worse than Hydlide Special? And it's a tough call. At least in the first game I could make some progress. And it was short enough that once you knew how to play it, it wasn't going to be around that long. For Hydlide 3, I banged my head against the wall for over an hour. I think I restarted 6 times just because I ran into issues. Even if I hadn't, I don't think I'd see much improvement if I could make further progress. This is a bad, bad game. It's amazing that the Hydlide series was so consistently bad through its entire history.